Now at 6, a new lawsuit is accusing Clark County's Juvenile Justice Center of institutional failure after decades of widespread sex abuse of young inmates. Why some victims are now speaking up all these years later.
And Portland City Council just made it easier for nonprofits and public agencies to expand or preserve affordable housing. A look at the new plan that rezones 19 properties and removes a bunch of red tape coming up. Plus,
and a new program is bringing fresh flavors and more flexible breakfast options to local school cafeterias. Coming up live, we're showing you what students can expect to see on their plates.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us on your Thursday. I'm China Green.
there it is. Matthew Herchick. Happy Friday Eve, everyone. Rod Hill, Chris McGinnis standing by with a look at the weather and traffic. All right, Rod, do you have something interesting to say now?
All right, this is what I've got. Are you ready?
Yes,
Go.
So ready.
Yesterday, the normal high for the 30-year average at PDX was 53, but today it goes up 1 degree and the normal high is now 54. Huh?
What a letdown.
Okay, all right. We've got here's the fog visibility map behind me. We're seeing fog increase, especially down, looks like near to just south of Wilsonville, down through Woodburn into Salem. But this is not the foggy morning, certainly, that we had 24 hours ago, when a lot of our cameras simply had zero visibility. A little bit of fog kind of lurking as you look back to the east from the Springs of the Waterfront camera in Vancouver. But for the time being, the I-5 bridge is still visible there. 37 is the number. There are some freezing spots to be had. Battleground is close to 34. When you get down to the Mid-Valley, now it's 32 in Almsville, 31 degrees in McMinnville. So we'll deal with some areas of low clouds and fog. We'll go on to be sunny. 30s out the door, 47 at noon. Today's high 53, which would be, I know you know this, 1 degree cooler than normal. All right, here's.
But wait, there's more. I think he's got a 60 to 70 forecast. All right, let's get you out the door. The fog, not nearly the issue that it was yesterday, of course, but as we take you to Clark County, we can see a little bit of that here. Nipping the top of the Interstate Bridge. There's I-5, of course, the southbound drive in pretty good shape. We'll take you a little farther south. Let's go. Wait for it. There we go. Wilsonville. Yeah, that definitely looks a little foggier than Vancouver. And farther south yet, down towards Marion County. This is I-5 near Perkins Road. You see a trend here. The fog gets a little thicker the farther south you go this morning. So far, despite that, no major freeway trouble out there just yet. Guys, back to you.
Chris, thank you. Developing this morning in Clark County, a lawsuit alleges decades of widespread sexual abuse in the county's Juvenile Justice Center.
The abuse is alleged to have happened over almost 40 years. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joined us in the newsroom. So Thomas, walk us through this lawsuit.
Well, guys, an attorney for the survivors says they've never met, but their stories of abuse are very similar. The new civil lawsuit claims the victims were detained at the Clark County Juvenile Justice Center as children from 1978 to 2014. It alleges detention staff members used their power to groom, threaten, and sexually abuse the kids. Plaintiffs say in some cases they were sexually assaulted during strip searches or isolated in supply closets or other blind spots in the facility. They say staff members threatened to harm victims to silence them. When victims tried to speak up, the lawsuit alleges they were ignored.
Just based on the similarities of abuse and the countless youth who have gone through the youth correction facility, I have to imagine that there's others out there who maybe they've held this their entire lives, haven't told anybody.
We reached out to Clark County for a statement. They said they do not comment on pending litigation. We followed up to ask about a person named in the lawsuit who appears to still work for the juvenile detention. We didn't hear back on that. Matthew.
Thomas Schultz live in the newsroom. Thomas, thank you. A Gresham man has been arrested for allegedly distributing child sex abuse material and making homemade explosives. Yesterday, police served a search warrant at a home on Southeast 19th Street after receiving tips that the suspect, 44-year-old Zachary Lawson, was involved in the distribution of sexually explicit images and videos of children. While serving the search warrant, officers found multiple homemade explosive devices. Lawson faces multiple charges, including encouraging child sex abuse, possession of child pornography, and unlawful manufacturing of a destructive device. And if you or someone you know is experiencing sexual assault or needs help, domestic violence hotline or domestic violence, that hotline is available at 1-800-799-7233. All calls are confidential.
Now to other local headlines this morning. Portland officers got quite the surprise when responding to a car that crashed into a cement mailbox Tuesday night because the man behind the wheel near Northeast 139th and East Burnside was unconscious. And when they pulled him out, police said that they found a small arsenal in the car, including 2 unregistered AR-15 style rifles, ammunition, and drugs. The driver now faces a list of charges, including 5 counts of being a felon in possession of a firearm. In Washington, scammers are using public jail records to target innocent victims. A woman from Stanwood, which is north of Seattle, says someone posing as a law enforcement officer used public records to find out her relative had recently been arrested. That part was true, but the rest of their story was not. He told the woman that her relative could be released if she paid a refundable $1,500 deposit for an ankle bracelet. Luckily, she sensed that something was off and hung up.
Anybody in law enforcement, we will never ask for money over the phone. And that is the very first indicator that people should recognize that it's a fraud.
So the Federal Trade Commission says last year more than 15,000 people in Washington state alone lost over $86 million to scammers.
Meanwhile, state senators unanimously passed a bill that cracks down on so-called speculative ticketing for things like concerts and sporting events. The bill effectively bans people or websites from advertising selling tickets they don't actually have. Governor Tina Kotek will decide whether to sign that into law. And Portland City Council has unanimously approved a plan to rezone 19 properties to allow nonprofits and public agencies to expand or preserve affordable housing. The idea is to remove red tape for those organizations to fast-track projects on land they already own. When our team visited one of those properties in the Centennial neighborhood, longtime neighbors expressed concern, saying that they've watched the existing affordable housing complex attract homelessness and crime.
We had a homeless camp in our backyard for almost 2 years with no city input or help.
My fears are that more people are going to come into our yard. For instance, a month and a half ago, we had a guy screaming on our front step.
Another project includes 16 homes in the Cully neighborhood to be developed by Habitat for Humanity.
Well, breakfast is getting a fresh makeover in local cafeterias this spring. Chartwell's K-12 is launching its new Bloom into Breakfast program.
It's combining student favorites with breakfast foods with new flavors and flexible options. Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson joins us live from Burton Elementary School in Vancouver with a first-hand look at the menu. Hey, Corey.
Yeah, good morning, Matthew, China. It's a new school cafeteria initiative, the Bloom into Breakfast program. And really, it's designed to expand breakfast options for students throughout all hours of the day as they get into lunch. And so it's creating new opportunities and also expanding the menu. I'm here with Kirk Mustang, the operations manager for Chartwell's. You guys are the public service provider for Evergreen Public Schools. Talk about the program.
Well, you know, we over 38 schools, we will do about 5,000 breakfasts this morning. And as you can see, everybody has a choice of hot breakfast, cold breakfast in all of our programs, and they're very well received. Not everybody gets up in the morning, so we've expanded this up to lunchtime, and it's also been really well received by all the kids.
Yeah, it's a rather new program. And talk about the requirements for each portion of the lunches.
Well, they all have to have whole grain requirements, milk with all of the meals, and fruit to make it a complete meal per USDA guidelines. And, you know, we're lucky enough here to be where we're at in this part of the country. We're able to feature local blueberries that we were able to go out and pick earlier this year.
How cool is that? It's a special touch to the breakfast.
Yeah, we all went out to a farm out in Hawkinson, which is not too far from here, and as a group picked berries that we froze, and we're using them throughout the school year. And, of course, local Washington apples.
And you said it's been received well. I'm sure parents who are watching want to know, I mean, really the significance and how this expands options for students, the importance behind that overall, having these choices.
Sure. You know, variety is always a good thing. Years ago, I had it told me, how would you feel if you ate in the same restaurant every day for a year? And so it's good that we have a variety for all the kids.
Fantastic. And we'll get to see exactly how that variety is made. Staff coming in now, they're prepping, warming things up, getting ready to make all these breakfasts and lunches for students who will be arriving here in the next few hours. So we'll get a live demonstration of all that prep work coming up. Guys.
Corey Johnson reporting live this morning. Thank you very much, Corey.
Is that an acai bowl? Oh, I love acai bowl. Have you ever had acai bowl?
God, no chance.
No.
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 How did you know?
Or come on. I've only worked here for a month and I already know.
Bless his heart. We'll get you one.
He's going to ask what acai is next, aren't you, Rod?
All right. We have another nice day, and the 7-day basically repeats a nice day after a nice day after a nice day until rain returns Wednesday of next week. So here we are this morning. We are seeing significant cloudiness coming from a low that's parked out to sea. This is pushing clouds northward to inland. Roseburg, Newport, Bend, and Salem reporting some cloud cover now. You folks, the cloud cover is probably fairly thin, though, because your surface temperatures are diving and the fog is increasing. So just moments ago, you could see the state capitol, and now you can't. 33 degrees is the temperature there. You can see the clouds over Portland. They're broken. So far, good visibility this morning. So not the foggy mess that we had 24 hours ago, and we're at 38 degrees out at the airport. I don't really have any weather hazards. Dry up over the mountains. Cascade passes are in good shape. It's above freezing in the Dalles, 36 degrees. We do have freezing temps in Bend, usual spots. Burns is now down to 23. Baker City's down to 19. Newport near freezing, but Astoria is at 40. Our afternoon map, it is a dry day, and generally we are looking for partly sunny skies as you go down southward. But a lot of us will just be mostly sunny. And notice Tillamook, Salem, Madras, LeGrand, all about the same temperature, somewhere between about 51 and 54 degrees. Here's the dry 7-day through the weekend. We're still nearing 60 as we get into next week. Of course, March 1 is Sunday, 61 on Tuesday, and there's the rain returning Wednesday of next week. And that is your update.
Thank you, Ron.